Oh no, I'm sitting around in the Jagdpanzer E100 and I totally forgot to help my team to defend the heavy lane, so the enemy team is pushing hardcore and annihilating all my heavy tanks. But you know what? I am sitting in a Jagdpanzer E100, the defensive behemoth in World of Tanks, so that is not a problem at all. So I'm loading the strong ammunition, which is heat with 420mm of pen, and voila, ciao, object 260. Now I'm angling my tank so all the other tanks bounce on my hull, and very soon I will have reloaded, and so another chance of dealing damage. So let's see, 420mm of pen, bam, ciao, next tank. My teammates are helping me out with some crossfire, and all of a sudden we are managing to hold this flank because we are sitting in the defensive behemoth, the Jagdpanzer E100. Voila, we've held the flank just with one single gun and with a little bit of help of our teammates. Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to showcase the Jagdpanzer E100 and tell you exactly how you can make a behemoth out of this tank. Let's go. Many people struggle with playing the Jagdpanzer E100 successfully. I believe this is due to its many drawbacks. It is super sluggish, its gun handling is okay but far from great. It is super slow and the armor that it carries around just doesn't seem to make up for all those deficiencies. So in this video I want to tell you how you can make this tank work so that it becomes the behemoth that it actually is. So in order to understand how we can make this tank work, we have to take a look at the awesometanks.gg webpage. So here are the stats of the Jagdpanzer E100. Great DPM for such a high alpha gun, very high alpha damage, very decent penetration. 0.34 dispersion is very good for such a high alpha gun. And then also the dispersion factors for moving the tank and tank traverse and turret traverse could be worse for such a high alpha gun. Now, of course, the tank is very slow. It has a very slow or very bad power to weight ratio, and it only has 6 degree of gun depression. Now, its armor is on the good side, but we'll take a look at this in a second. And then it has 2200 HP, which is quite nice, plus 390 meters of view range. But once again, in order to make this tank work, we have to take a look at the armor profile. And now, here I compared the Jagdpanzer E100 against the E100, so against, let's say, a average tier 10 heavy tank with its standard penetration. And with standard penetration of, in this case, 246, you can see that the armor is pretty strong. Now, the lower plate here, the lower frontal hull, that's your weak spot and that's what you want to hide. In addition, you have a cupola, but if you waggle around, this is not, let's say, not too easy to hit. Now, what you want to do with the Jagdpanzer E100 is you want to angle the tank like this, because as you can see, if you angle the tank like this, there's no chance of penetrating your tank because you have an effective armor of about 290, 295 on your on the upper side here. And then the upper hull is 380, 390, and even the lower hull is beyond, let's say, 250, 260. Now, of course, if the adversary would load its heat ammunition with 334mm of pen, then things become differently. And in this case, your frontal portion of the turret or the upper portion of the hull of the tank becomes penetrable. Because obviously 334mm is enough, and same applies for your lower hull. Even if you angle the tank, then it is penetrable, and if you continue to angle the tank, then of course you have or the tank has a chance of penetrating. But as you can see, the effective armor here, due to those side skirts, is relatively high, so you can bait opponents to shoot to your side while over angling your tank, and they will most of the time not penetrate your side. So this is the strength of this tank. Of course, at the lower portion right here, then your tank becomes penetrable. And the last thing I want to show you is, of course, this tank's armor has limits when it comes to, let's say, top tier tank destroyers. So in this case, I compare this tank with the Houri 3 with its standard penetration of 305 millimeters, and as you can see, the tank becomes very weak. And if you angle the tank, then eventually your upper portion here becomes strong, but only if you angle your tank like this. And once again, then with AP, this tank has no problem with penetrating you right here below the skirts, here in the side of the tank. And of course, if you load premium ammunition, then of course your armor is simply lackluster. So the armor is good. What you always have to try to do is you have to angle your tank, and you can bait your opponents to shoot towards the side. If they hit this this portion right here where the armor is super strong due to those side skirts, then you can bait shots and you will not get any damage. So before we start with the game, let me show you how I play this tank. First of all, for the crew should definitely have brothers in arms. It should definitely have repairs. Repairs is mandatory on such a sluggish and slow tank destroyer. And then of course I went for the gun handling skills, and you do not need to train concealment on this tank, because yeah, you do not want to hide with this tank, and you actually cannot hide. So those are the most important skills. Now, equipment wise, I play this tank with a gun rammer. I think gun rammer on this tank is mandatory to boost the DPM, which is not great on this tank. Then my first build has improved ventilation and then improved hardening. Now for my second build, I use gun rammer as well, as I said, and then I use a turbo, and I use an improved rotation mechanism. So this is kind of my mobility build, and then the other one is the build for a situation where I do not need to be as mobile. Now, ammunition wise, of course, you need to carry a lot of heat with you. This is the ultimate strength of this tank. And then depending on the situation, I either carry 6 regular ammunition shells, or I carry 10 and a little bit less of the heat shells. Alright guys, first game with the Jagdpanzer E100. We are spawning on El Alouf, and the first thing you should always notice, or let's say keep in mind in this tank, is you want to play where the fight takes place. You want to be engaged in the fight. You do not want to sit at the back and snipe, but you want to brawl alongside with your heavy tanks. So in this case, I select my mobility build in order to reach the front line faster. And let's see how it goes. Of course, we're in a top tier situation, which is great for this tank. And yeah, Jagdpanzer E100, there's one more thing to say about this tank. It has the best penetration value in the game. If you're loading heat with, which I am doing right now, you have 420 millimeters of penetration. And the heat shells even have a very decent shell velocity. And to be honest, this is what makes this tank so strong. So the best penetration in World of Tanks, very nice alpha damage, and then armor that you can really use in order to brawl. So this combination makes this tank strong, and this is how you should play the Jagdpanzer E100. And guys, before I forget, we need a name for this tank. Many YouTubers out there have a name for their Jagdpanzer E100, so write me suggestions in the comment section. I'll then conduct a poll and the community can choose the name. So that's what we want to see. Okay, come on, Super Conqueror, do not be stupid, do not block me. I simply want to be engaged in the fight, and this should be to your benefit as well. Alright, so yeah, please guys, write in the comment section down below, make a suggestion for a name for this tank, and then, as I said, I'll make a poll, and then you can choose the name, and thereafter we'll have a name for this tank. Alright, so let's see how it goes. I want to position myself right here, so if an enemy tank crosses the A2 position, then I will deal damage. So here you go. There are the first tanks. Now T30 is playing ultra aggressively, which is fine. Now we'll soon see. Okay, there's no enemy tank pushing, so that means I have to advance instantaneously. Also because the Super Conqueror is basically spotting the B3, B4 position, and so as there are no heavy tanks, I can cross without getting crossfire from this little hill right here. Now I want to help the T30, and the game plan is to conduct second line gameplay. So I want to wait until the Jagdpanzer E100 has taken a shot, and then I will be able to take a shot by myself. Now the Caliban is moving forward. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Can I shoot basically over his hull? Doesn't look like. But you know what? I want to... Okay. Alright. Jagdpanzer E100 is falling back. Let me see. I need to take him out because I do not want to take 1000 damage from this tank. Let me see. Bam. And he's taken out. Excellent. Okay. So only 357 damage. This is not what I see with the 1050 Alpha gun. However, we could take him out, which is excellent. And now we can make pressure towards the Type 4 Heavy. So let us see. And you know what? I will even take a shot because I can trade positively against this tank. Unfortunately, he pens me, which is fine. And now, of course, I can simply shoot the frontal portion of this tank. And then what I want to do is I want to hide behind the wreck of those tanks here, because then I might be able to bounce the shot of the Type 4 Heavy. So there's a GSOR 1008 approaching this position. But first of all, I want to... Okay, now he's falling back into cover. Let me see. Oh no, I bounced this shot. Super unfortunate. That's how it is. Yeah, and so he's now able to take out the T103, which is super unfortunate. I need to wait for about 20 seconds until my shot is reloaded, and then I might be able to take a shot onto the GSOR 1008. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, he's actually clever as well, falling back behind cover. But now, let me see. Another very unlucky situation right here. Of course, with such a high alpha gun, with such a high reload time, it's always... it's not what you want to see, to bounce shots or to not pen, because, yeah, your DPM simply... is lower to an abysmal level. Okay, we can take out the Jagdpanzer, sorry, the Type 4 Heavy. And now, you know what? I think it is time to load the standard ammunition. So, can we get a shot onto the FV? Let me see. I need to reload the gun so I can wait here behind cover. And then soon I will move out of cover and try to take a shot onto this tank. So, let's do it. Let's, yeah, nice. He's in the open field. Excellent. So, let's see. Let's fully aim in this shot. And then, bam. Nice. Okay, this was a, oh my gosh, a low roll. Only 807 damage. More than 200, no, more than 200 HP left in this shot. But that's how it is. You know what? I want to fall back to 0.6k damage dealt so far, and you know what, I do not want to fall back because maybe the GSOR 1008 is still in the position. No, actually he's taken out, but I simply want to stay here because I think it's I will be wasting too much time if I would fall back, and there's still the WT on Panzer IV in the adversary base. So is the Rheinmetall Borsig WT. So let's simply stay here. Let's simply stay here and let's see whether we can take out this tank. So let's fully aim in. And nice. Okay, perfect. Can we get a shot onto the KPZ-50T? We will see. So far 3 kills, which is excellent, but only 2.8k damage. So with 3 shots, or with 3 kills, and let's assume only 3 shots, you should have about 3k damage in this tank. Now we conducted more than 3 shots but only have 2.8k damage. That's how it is. Alright, so you know what, let's try to push out the Rheinmetall Borsig WT. I'm loading HE because fortunately with this setup I have HE. And let's see. Can I take a shot onto the grill? No, I do not think so. So you know what? No, let's try to take out the WT on Panzer 4. Not on Panzer 4, but on the Rheinmetall Borsig on WT. So let us see. Of course, we have enough HP, so we can simply try to push him out. Let's see how it goes. I have 90 millimeters of pen. Of course, I need to aim in. So unfortunately, he's falling back into cover. And let me see. The drawback of this tank is that it is very slow and very sluggish. As you could see in the very first seconds when we try to approach the heavy lane position, and now you can see it one more time. That's the drawback of this tank. But you know what? Such a tank obviously does have its drawbacks as well. So he bounces his shot because he cannot take a shot onto the lower hull. So you know what? If he moves out, I might be able to take a shot onto him. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Yeah, please. Here you go. Nice. That's what I want to see. Bam. Okay, he pens me, which is fine. But you know what? I can take him out with my insane alpha of my HE ammunition. Okay, so there's a WT on Panzer 4. And you know what? I'm now down to being one-shottable, so I need to pay attention. Now, this would be a cat and mouse game now. But we'll see how it goes. If he falls back, then I want to advance. This tank is not the fastest one either. And he's hiding down there in this position, which is fine. And now I want to simply rush to his position. But I mean, rushing is a relative expression. And with the Jagdpanzer E100, you do not really rush because the tank is so slow. So let me see. Now I do not want to approach his position right at the corner because I want to, let's say, be turned around once I approach his position. So let me see. Let me use auto aim in this position. And now, unfortunately, as you could see, gun depression is what I was lacking right here. Now I cannot move out because he will take a shot into my lower plate. Unfortunately, he's turning his gun towards me, which is bad for me. But you know what? I will turn around. Yeah, and now he tries to... He's a good player. He tries to get a shot onto the rear of my tank. But I will simply turn around and then flank him. And my teammates are approaching the other side, which is good. Now I only need to make sure that I am ready to shoot once he peeks around the corner. So I want to be cautious. And let me see, let's fall back so that gun depression is not a problem and I can take him out. Excellent. So 4.4k damage. And I think in this game, you really saw the advantages of this tank, but then also the drawbacks. Alright, second game in the Jagdpanzer E100. We are spawning on mines, this time in a tier 10, tier 9 matchup. And as I said in the first game, with this tank you do not want to go to a sniping position. You do not want to sit at the rear of the map. Maybe on an open map, but certainly not on a map like mines. On this map, I want to brawl with this tank. I want to hide my lower plate and I want to use the armor that this tank offers in order to brawl. And I want to use my 420 millimeters of penetration with my 1050 alpha damage. And, you know, all the adversary tanks will actually take my tank into consideration. And this is the strength of such a tank. So you can, let's say, dominate a position simply by threatening your opponents. And this is what you want to exploit. This strength is what you want to exploit with playing tanks like the Jagdpanzer E100. So let's stop here. No, let's actually advance. And let's see what I can do. So let's see what our concept 1B is doing. Here you go. Let me see. Can I take a shot onto this this tank? Oh, you know what? I want to brawl against the 60 TP, so let us see. Oh, here's another nice tank. So let's simply advance, and here you go. There you go. That's what I want to see. And bam! Low roll, 892 damage to the adversary Jagdpanzer E100. Let's simply reload our gun. And as you can see, he's already falling back. And now, let's see what the E75 is doing. Now I've reloaded my gun. Oh, nice. He's crossing. Here you go, and... Oh, no. I do not hit this shot, which was poorly aimed. So bad on me. And now, obviously, as you saw in the first game, if you do not hit your shots, if you... Oh, here you go, nice. Bam, nice. 1060. Thank you, Mr. Object, for 30. Now you're down to being one-shottable, which is excellent. So if you do not hit your shots, then of course your game will be, you know, on the bad side. That's just how it is with such a high alpha gun with such a long reload time. Alright, maybe the Jagdpanzer E100 moves out of cover again. But looks like from this position I will not be able to deal with him. And so, you know what? I will play a little bit more to the left-hand side. Now, as you can see, brawling is what makes this tank strong, or how you should use this tank. So let me see. Cannot get a shot onto this tank. Let me see. Here you go. Nice. And Mr. Foch. Oh no, I hit the rear of the turret of the Concept 1B. Super unfortunate. No, actually, I did hit the Foch B, 926 damage. It looked like I did not hit the tank, but actually I did, so that's great. So 2.9k damage. And let me see. Maybe the E75 moves out of cover again. Maybe a blind shot. Should I take a blind shot? No, actually, let's not do it. Let me see. I think he will push out of cover. So let me see. So what can we do? The game is very close. We have map control, but I do not want to simply blindly push out and lose my HP. Now, okay, here you go. The DZT-159 is making pressure, so maybe we can support him. Maybe with the shot in this position as soon as as the T-30 moves out of cover. You know what? Let's load the regular ammunition. Because if he moves out of cover, I do not need 420 millimeters of pen. Doesn't look like. So you know what? I think it is time to push out. Let me see. Every tank has been spotted, so there should not be a surprise. The only problem is the Foch B. Badchat is making pressure. Can I take a shot? Can I take out the T-30? Let me see. Here you go. Okay, that was super unfortunate. Looks like ING is not on our side in this match. So super fortunate for the T-30. And then that's just how it is. So with the Jagdpanzer E100, you need to be patient. It sounds weird, but this is not the tank for, let's say, a rushed gameplay. And yeah, you need to be patient. So we can take out the Tortoise. Let's now angle our tanks so that they cannot pen us. At least not easily pen us. And you know what? I think it is about time to make pressure. Because the DZT-159 is playing so that the FV and the other tanks are falling back. And so this gives me the chance of actually advancing. So let me see. So one shot onto the 9. Okay, what is happening? I do not pen this shot with the IS-32. So once again, super unlucky. Looks like ING is not on my side in this game. But anyway, we will progress and we will simply try to make damage. So you know what, the FV has just shot, and now it's time for us to take out those tanks. So first tank taken out. Of course, this is very expensive gameplay if we shoot heat, but only make between 50 and 100 damage. But that's just how it is. And we want to win the game, and we want to take out those tanks. That's all we want to do. And so let's simply try to advance. So let me see. Can we take a shot onto the Jagdpanzer E100? No, we cannot, but they actually can. And okay, they're taken out. So you know what we need is one more shot to have a decent game. So let's see how we can get one additional shot. Fortunately, the Gonkiewicza is still full HP, so that's, I think, our chance to make damage. We will of course load heat ammunition in order to pen his relatively strong armor. And so yeah, we bounce the shot. Excellent, because we angle our tank. And so nice, we can take a shot right here. Bam. And so this was the additional shot, which actually caused the game to be pretty decent. So 4.9k damage is a decent result, and I think this game showed how you should play the Jagdpanzer E100. Alright, third and last game with the Jagdpanzer E100, and of course the best setup for this tank is a city match, because you can fall back into cover, reload your gun, and then outrate any other tank on the battlefield, apart from maybe the FV4005. So let's see how it goes. Of course, in this situation we want to brawl in the city, and we want to play alongside with our heavy tanks. So let's see how it goes. Of course, I will load heat because I want to exploit the enormous strength of this tank. So let's see how it goes. And I think I will move towards the right hand side. Okay, a little steering issue here, but now I'm on my way. So let's see. All right. So let's see how it goes. Our team is playing, let's say, the regular positions. 60 DP of the enemy team is making hardcore pressure into the middle. So the good thing is that he will not be on the heavy lane. Maybe it's not a good message, because we need HP to deliver our shells. So let's see. Will there be a tank in this position? I think here I can basically hide my lower hull. Now, is there a tank? Doesn't look like, but we want to play patient. Because this is what you need to do in this tank. So let's zoom out and let's see what's going on. Okay, here you go. There's a tank. There's the FV4005. That's what I want to see, but looks like he's falling back. Okay, that's not what I want to see. It's been spotted, so he instantaneously moved back into cover, which is actually a good choice. And so looks like he's now not moving out. So you know what? I will go to another position. So I want to be more engaged into the fight. So I need to move to the left hand side. Our FV is already taken out because he has no armor whatsoever. So he cannot conduct this second line gameplay. Or actually it's a first line gameplay in this position. And so that's not the correct playstyle, in my opinion, of this tank. And that's what sets apart the Jagdpanzer E100 compared to the Jagdpanzer E100. So let's see, first shot, and here you go, bam, 1069 damage, and adios T30. Excellent, that's what I want to see. Now I can perfectly fall back into cover, take all the time in World of Tanks in order to reload my gun, and I will push forward the rack of the FV4005 so that I have cover and that I can basically hide my lower hull, at least for the most part. And so, bam, 1033, thank you Superconk. And the FV4005 shooting HE only deals 294 damage, so I'm even out trading two adversary tanks with the Jagdpanzer E100. Excellent, that's what I want to see. Alright. Let's reload and bam, another 1049, and this is the strength of the Jagdpanzer E100. With only 3 shells and 3 shots, we made 1.3k damage, which is very, very strong. Let me see. So let's reload the gun. And you know what? Let's punish the Stritzwagen 103B. Bam, 890. He's actually lucky that we conducted a low roll, but we already made 4k damage with the Jagdpanzer E100. So let's continue this gameplay. Let's just reload the gun and let's try to see whether we can make an additional shot. So here you go. And will we hit this tank? Okay, he's not lit anymore, but you know what? And this is a hit, so an additional 1000 damage. As we will see right now, he's down to 681 HP, and now we want to play more aggressively. So actually we have 5k damage in this game with the Jagdpanzer E100. Little spoiler, we will not see any more damage in the game, because obviously this tank is not the fastest one. The game is over right now, but this is the dream scenario of the Jagdpanzer E100, and overall this tank, in my opinion, is pretty strong if you know how to play it. So you need to make use of the armor. You do not want to play over aggressively, and then you simply want to out-trade your opponents. And of course, the best map for this tank is a city map, and this tank is not so good on an open map. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about the Jagdpanzer E100. What do you think about this tank? Do you like it? Do you think it is fun to play? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. This really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you find this video extremely helpful, then feel free to support me via Super Thanks. This way you can make a one-time donation. You just have to click this button underneath the video. If you adore this channel and you want to consistently support me, then consider subscribing to my channel or become a member, once again with the click of a button underneath the video. Thanks a lot, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.